All righty. Oh, it looks like we're trying and we need to go live there. Go live, go live. That's not working. Never mind. Okay. Let's see if I can. Nope. All right. Never mind. Man, look, hey, we're live. Aloha. How are you doing? And welcome to the Care and Caregiver Show. I'm Savy, your host. And apparently, we are not going to be streaming today on our Givers Guides Facebook page. So if anyone is following us there and you're here on a different channel, I'm sorry. But apparently, Meta didn't want to cooperate. So I'll just force it into submission later, and I will repost the show so nobody misses out. Okay, there you are. Great. Let's start this over again, right? Take two. Aloha. Welcome to the Care and Caregiver Show. I'm Savy, founder of Give Me a Break. We're a nonprofit organization and an all-volunteer organization, I might add, that's caring for caregivers, and we're here to bring back the joy of caregiving. More importantly, we're here to help caregivers to survive. And I haven't talked about the statistic in a bit, so I will. And that's for years. Gosh, for the past 5 years, the statistic has been that 50% of caregivers will pass before the ones that they're caring for. Well, guess what? That changed. As of 2026, it's now 40%. 10% are surviving. So whatever we are all doing as a caregiving community, and all of these wonderful and amazing people that I'm continually meeting who are having a voice, doing things to support caregivers, just being involved, it's making a difference. Take 10% of 63 million caregivers in the United States alone, and we've saved that many lives. It's amazing. And there's someone to care for the person they're caring for. So those are the happy endings. In a more sadder ending, we did lose one of ours recently, and my heart goes out to them. And I won't publicly mention who it was, but we did lose a caregiver, and so that's hard. And she's a mom and a wife, and was taking care of her husband, and now that's all changed. So we had a caregiver who became part of that statistic. And whenever we can correct that or change that, the better. And so just keep that in your mind and in your thoughts and prayers for this week, that we are still losing caregivers, 40% of them. That's still a lot. If you want to take 40% of 63 million, that's a lot. So out of every 10, we're losing 4. We don't want to lose any. So let's keep working hard at it, and we're going to help caregivers to survive, and that's what we do. So here at Give Me a Break, you can go to our website and you can check it out. It's gab808.org. A lot of information there. God, we know how hard it is, and we know how difficult it is to caregive. We're all caregivers just like you, and we give you a break every week. So your first break comes in our support sessions. Our support sessions are there for anyone. You don't even have to be caregiving now. You could have been caregiving years and years ago. You could just be seeing it on the horizon. You could be headlong into it. It doesn't matter. We're all caregivers. Everyone's a caregiver. So you come in, join us, and you can be on our sessions. They're online, and it's Hawaii Standard Time. So whatever time it is in your area, or if you're here in Hawaii, 8 p.m., join us. Just zoom in. Put in meeting ID 808-754-3787. This is your positive safe space. This is where caregivers can be themselves, where you're in a community of caregivers just like you. In fact, we just had our session last night, and boy, I'll tell you, when you start talking about anger, right? That brings up all kinds of things, because it might not even be anger. Anger, one of our caregivers mentioned that's kind of a harsh word, and it is. We do kind of things get a little harsh sometimes when you're caregiving. And so, we use words like upset, irritated, frustrated, and they're all associated to anger and what that does to your body physically. And so we talked all about that. And of course, we used some wonderful technique that we've learned here on the show to help laugh our way through it in the end. And you're welcome to join us and learn more on our sessions. And like I said, really easy to just join in. Go to your Zoom app, type in meeting ID 808-754-3787. All right. And the Care and Caregiver Show is how Give Me a Break gets you connected to resources. One of our resources, great resources that we have, is the Giver's Guides online magazine. It is a caregiver's guides to all things caregiving. It's written for caregivers, by caregivers, from the unique caregiver's point of view. And so here's a sneaky peek. Well, not yet, but here's this month's issue. And I know we're almost through the month, so you can get it now and still enjoy it. And that's 5 ways to practice self-love. It's been self-love month all month, and we're learning how to love ourselves because that's really important. You really can't give love out if you don't have love within. So this is a wonderful time to do that. And it's a great issue. There's all kinds of things in there. I'm just clicking on there. You can see a summary of some of the articles that you'll be able to read in there. And then, of course, there is our sneaky peek at March issue. So the March issue is coming out the 1st of March in about, 5 days, I think. And so you can check out the March issue, which is going to feature, of course, our expo is coming up on March 14th. Mark your calendars. I'll talk more about it later in the show. And there's a wonderful articles again. We're talking about 5 ways to nurture restful sleep, 5 simple ways to appreciate you. So great opportunity for you to get articles that are written and directed. I mean, you could look at a golf magazine, and in all honesty, when I was caregiving, I never had time to golf, right? So this one you can take on your tablet, on your phone while you're sitting in that doctor's office, and you don't have to read Golf Digest. Okay, you can read all about how to get through and survive caregiving. It's a great way to do that. You don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss any articles, and very simple to do. All you have to do is make a $25 donation. Your $25 donation helps us, and we help caregivers with it. And then we give you a mahalo gift. Mahalo is thank you in Hawaiian. So we give you a mahalo gift of 12 monthly issues, and you'll get those from us. And this helps us to care for those caregivers, and it helps you because a portion is tax deductible. All right. I've talked enough. You know what? It's time. I think, you know what I need? I need to be uplifted. And so it's time for our mindful moment. And we truly are honored each week, we've had through this season and will continue through this season, our social media viral sensation with hundreds of thousands of followers, and of course, a world-renowned laughter leader and award-winning empowerment coach. And I'm just calling her my friend now. And I am loving getting to know this person and sharing in the joy that she is bringing us every week. And so please welcome Bianca. Aloha, Bianca.
Hello, you can definitely call me a friend, Savy.
I'm telling you, if you ever, and by the way, some of you may not know this, but Bianca's in Australia. And so if you ever get here to Hawaii, I'm rolling out the red carpet. Trust me. You have a friend here because your winters are summers. So it's going to be cold there. You come here and get warm.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Right. I was thinking about Hawaii last night, actually. I was like, I think I could go.
Sometimes the airfares, they're just right. And, why not? Right. Okay. Well, good. I'm looking forward to your share today. So I'm going to turn it over to you.
Beautiful. Hi, everyone. I know a lot of you have been tuning in every week, which is awesome. And I thought after last week, I haven't really been recapping why we're laughing. So I just want to get into that before we start. So laughter has a lot of benefits. I could take the whole podcast explaining them, but in a nutshell, when we laugh, we reduce our stress chemicals in our body, and we boost up feel-good chemicals like endorphins, which are known as the happy hormone, serotonin, which is a mood stabilizer, oxytocin, which is known as the love chemical. I know Savy was talking about being a bit angry and frustrated before. It happens in caregiving. Let's boost some oxytocin. Let's get connected and be bonding. And even if you laugh by yourself, you're still boosting the oxytocin in your system. And it also releases dopamine, which is known as the reward chemical. It's essential for motivation. The second thing that I'll tell you, aside from the chemicals, is that laughter puts us almost instantly into a gamma brainwave state. And I'm using a lot of big words here. Basically, it puts us into the zone that meditators strive for. It allows us to open our mind into clarity and calm, which is definitely something we need when we're caregiving. I mean, I've just done a drop off with my son. It's why I'm in the car. And I thought today, let's do some exercises that we can do in the car, because maybe you are out at appointments and things, or driving here, there, and everywhere. So we've only got a few minutes left, so let's keep going. So laughter is just breath. So we're going to breathe in and laugh out. Breathe in and laugh out. Easy when you're driving. In and out. In, hold, smile, laugh. In, let's hold it like this now. Driving, we're driving. Gotta keep the hands on the wheel. Breathe in, nice and deep into the belly. In. Imagine you're like a balloon. Eyes on the road. Breathing in. Sighing out. Breathing in. Laughing out. Breathing in. Out with a hee-hee. Breathing in. Ha-ha. This time, ho-ho. Okay, in and out through the nose. Nice smile on your face. And just take a moment to notice how you're feeling in this moment. Right here, right now, in your mind and your body and your energy. Just notice if you're feeling calm, if you're feeling light, if you're feeling energized. Just checking on my time there. And give yourself a little thank you. Thank you for taking the time, even if you're layering it up with doing the washing or the dishes or driving, that you took this time for you to boost that feel-good chemistry, reduce that stress chemistry in your body. If you'd love to laugh more with me, you can find me on YouTube or on the Laughly app. It's on the screen right now, Laughly. You can find it in your App Store or Google Play.
I love it. I love it. That was awesome. Hi, I'm Savy. I am a balloon. I love that. I love it. Oh my goodness. You bring so much joy. I can't even thank you enough. And so thank you for sharing your wonderful abilities, your knowledge, and of course, your extremely awesome laugh. Thank you.
Thank
We
you,
look
Savy.
forward to seeing you again next week, Bianca. Mahalo. All right. And of course, you can find Brittany on her YouTube channel, but also on the Laughly app, and that's at laughly.com. And of course, at any go onto your app store and download the Laughly app. It's a wonderful way for you to get your fix throughout the week, and you don't have to wait till once a week to laugh along with Bianca. You can do that every day, every moment, whenever you need it, and get your dose of chemicals. I figure within our bodies, we have enough chemicals to be addicted to ourselves. We can be addicted to laughing. And it's a wonderful thing because you do feel so good, and you can get through just about anything if you can still laugh. And that was something my dad used to always say. He loved to make people laugh. And he says that, as long as you keep laughing, you'll be all right. Miss him every day. And I remember him with the laughter. So that's how we all want to be remembered. But check it out. Go to Bianca's YouTube channel. It's Bianca Spears, just YouTube Bianca Spears, or of course, get that Laughly app. I think you'll find that it's really easy to navigate, and you'll be able to get your laugh on. Okay, wonderful. Well, this year, we are very focused on the awareness for caregivers. We want to let everyone know that caregivers exist. And you've heard me talk about this before, right? How Horton hears the who in that little dandelion, and that we scream, we are here, we are here, we are here. And it's so important that people know that caregivers need support. So we're putting the word out. We're connecting you to community, but I also want you to put the word out and let people know that you exist. And of course, I met my guest today. I met her at a Veteran Affairs Senior Fair, and we just immediately connected. I know that, I've always told you this, that I believe universally, or like Alani calls them, God incidences happen, because they're meant to be and according to their time, and you can sense them and you feel them. And when I met my guest, I knew immediately that I needed to share her with you and share her story. And she's all about that. She's all about sharing her story and her journey. And she's the voice of We Are Here, right? And as a woman of faith who shares her journey from caregiving and loss to hope, she has authenticity and is living fully in the season God has placed her in. And with her blog and her amazing heart, she is really making a voice for caregivers. So please welcome my guest, and I'm so honored to have you here, Karen Dizxon. Karen, welcome. Aloha.
Thank you. Aloha. And it is my privilege to be here. And it is a God moment. As a matter of fact, as you were speaking, I had chills go through my body, and it was amazing. And I'm such a chatterbox. And I had points when we were talking. I was like, "Do you need to shut up? This woman's going to get tired of hearing you."
And we just kept talking. We just kept talking.
It's hilarious.
It was wonderful. And I think we were kindred spirits. We just connected immediately. And, it was all such a meant to be. So I've been so excited to bring you on your show, on my show. One day you will have your show. See, that's a sign.
Maybe one day, you never know.
That was a sign right there. I'll tell you, nothing happens by mistake. So, with that, let's share your caregiving story with everyone, because this is where our start was. Let's start from there.
Okay. I'll try to keep it brief. 2011, I noticed a change in my husband. He became angry, and he would react differently than he used to. And I didn't know what to do. I was like, this is not my Fred. And we were managing a retirement community. So, I had to keep it together, and I had to be there for the other people. And so did he. And he noticed it too. And he would be very upset with himself when those things happen. Fast forward to 2016, he had seen some changes. Then he went through prostate cancer in 2015. But he had agreed with me that there were enough changes that he went to the VA right before he started his therapy for his prostate cancer and did an assessment, grueling 5-hour assessment.
Wow.
When we went in 2016, we found out he had frontal lobe dementia. I didn't know what that meant, but it did explain the personality change. And I remember the psychiatrist looking at me and saying, he's going to be fine. The one we need to take care of is you. But there was no follow-up to that. There was none of that. And it didn't just happen overnight. And you know this from taking care of your father and your mother. It doesn't happen overnight. It kind of gently slides in, and you end up in a place you don't recognize. And eventually you're taking over all the responsibilities. You're doing things. Here was this man that we were always a team, and we had our things that we did. And before long, I was doing everything and trying to be a woman of faith and a wife that was loving, and failed on many occasions. And the reason, I'll read the reason first, and I'll read it because I write more coherently than I speak a lot of times. So on my blog, in my introduction, one of the things I talk about is then September 2020, he and I both noticed he was beginning to have issues with his memory beyond normal aging. Later, we would discover that Alzheimer's was creeping in. Anyone, and I can say this part, anyone who's been there knows there's a term out there called long goodbye. And yes, it is. But beyond that, it's a series of daily heartbreaks. Little by little, you take over responsibilities, you lose something of them, something that you fell in love with, and you need to keep loving and you need to keep supporting. And what I am endeavoring to do is honor the love that is woven into that fatigue. And sometimes we forget we love because we're so tired, and we think, I can't be yelling at this person that can't help what they're doing and still love them. But we do, and we show up and we do it. So Savy and I were talking before we got started, and I was telling her the excerpt that I want to read because it explains it better. I've been widowed now for 4 years. And now when I talk about things, it's like, well, this, and this. It's not, there's no impact to it a lot of times. So I did write on my blog, and I did have done several things on my YouTube and on my Gritty Granny Facebook that talk about anger. And it's called Basement Breakdown, Embracing the Mess. One Saturday, after one of Fred's friends had taken him out for lunch, I sat alone in our cozy dining room, cradling a cooling cup of coffee. The house was too still, too heavy with the weight of what life had become. For 2 years, I'd swallowed my frustration, my fear, my helplessness, keeping it buried beneath a calm face and steady hands. But that day, the dam broke. It all erupted. My chest tightened. My breath came in shallow gasps. Before I knew it, I was stumbling down the basement stairs, half blind with tears, driven by rage. When my feet hit the concrete floor, the anger was no longer quiet. It was a roar. I shouted at God, loud, ugly, the kind of outrageous cry that shakes the walls and makes your throat burn. I pounded the desk with my fist, sent papers flying, knocked over a chair. How could you, I screamed. How could you take the man I love, piece by piece, and leave me to watch, unable to put him back together? Why us? Haven't we done enough? Haven't we given enough? The words echoed back at me, hollow and wild. I wanted answers. I wanted to hurt the silence that mocked me. My anger wasn't clean. It was tangled with fear and exhaustion and a desperate need to be seen by the very God I was accusing. When the shouting gave way to quiet sobs, they shook me to the core. I sank to the concrete, lying like a baby in a fetal position on my side, with my cheek pressed against the coldness, grounding me in its hardness. When I woke, the air in the room was heavy and still. My throat burned, my hands ached, and I was lying amid the wreckage of my tantrum, papers scattered, a mug shattered, my Bible half buried under the mess. I sat up, stunned by the ruin I'd made, and all I could think was, now I have to clean it up. As I slowly began picking things up, something inside me shifted. The anger drained away, leaving a strangely soft ache. In that quiet moment, I felt it, the warmth of the strong, unseen arms around me. My Heavenly Father holding me and loving me still. How could He comfort me after I'd raged against Him? Yet He met me there in the mess I'd made of both my basement, room, and my soul. And that encapsulates the anger that I had lived with, and that surfaced again. I mean, it did happen.
Yeah.
I'm glad. One of the things that I did that I would talk to caregivers about as a mother, and we have grown children and they have small children. One of my sons had small children, and he lived the closest to me, about 20 minutes away. And he would call, Mom, how's it going? What do you need? And I was always thinking like a mother. I was like, oh, I don't need anything. We're fine. We're making it. And we're embarrassed to ask our friends in whatever faith base we're in, whether it's church or wherever. We don't want them to come in and clean our bathroom. We don't want them to see the filth. We don't want them to see that we can't keep our house like we used to.
Yep.
There's a reason we don't invite people in anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And then there is the loss of our friends who love us. And I'll get emotional, but they don't know what to do with us.
Yeah.
They don't know whether to be silent around him, whether to focus on him when he can't return conversation, or to talk with us or talk in third person. And they're hurting too, in a lesser, different way.
I love that you say that, because sometimes, we know that caregivers isolate, but sometimes that isolation is not always self-imposed.
Right.
It's also because others don't know what to do. They don't know what to say. They're not sure how to act. And so they tend to sort of pull away. And next thing you know, you're isolated and you're kind of on your own there, and it's not with bad intention or ill intention. No. It's just that when you're in a caregiving situation like you were in, and like many of us were in, it's hard. You don't even have the time to ask. You don't have the time to explain, and you certainly don't have any emotion left, except to have a rage or to have a cry. And I'm so on the verge of tears because I'm relating so much to what it feels like. And I know every caregiver feels this. And I want to bring out, that one of the things that is a description on your website about your blog, and it says, and I'm going to read too. It says, it's real, it's raw, and it's wrapped in faith. Not the shiny, always happy kind, but the kind that takes us to our knees and says, God help me. Yeah. And I love that quote on your website because, and this isn't necessarily, if you're not the religious or type of person, but you're a spiritual type of a person, then for whatever it is, know that being real is important, and being in touch with the things that you need to survive the journey are what Karen's got here. And she's not about shining it up. This is about how you're going to get through. And this is something I think that why you and I connected so well is because everyone knows I got no sharp edges. I'm definitely round corners, but I'll come out and say what needs to be said. But I'll tell you that when I was going through my caregiving, I shut right up.
Yeah.
And we can be so well-spoken, outspoken, but when you get into the nitty-gritty of it all, Gritty Granny, speaking of which, you have 8 grandchildren. That's why she goes by Gritty Granny. And, that's, it's hard. It's hard to sometimes be able to vocalize. So I can really appreciate that story. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go ahead.
The other thing is, and I want to, I try to relate for any spiritual group out there. It's not, but I will say that one of my targets is Christian women in my age group who we were taught to sit in our pew, smile, Doesn't matter that the world is falling apart.
No.
It doesn't matter that somebody's abusing you, or it doesn't matter that you're caregiving, you don't know what to do next. It doesn't matter. You're supposed to go, Jesus has got it all. I'm okay. And while Jesus might have it all, and it might be okay, it's not okay.
For
And
you.
we need to be able to be real with our sisters in the faith, whatever that faith is. If you're Buddhist, whatever, we need to be able to be real and not be rejected for our realness.
And I love that we're in a time where you don't have to feel shamed anymore. You can speak up. You can reach out, because we are a community and we're here for each other. And that's what I love about all of your blogs, because your blogs are very transparent. And if you all start reading some of the blogs that she has, you're going to go, yes, that's me. She gets me. And that's why I'm saying I think you're going to end up with your show at one point, because, because there are so many out there, and caregivers who are, gosh, they're suffering in silence, right? And a caregiver now, let's redefine that, right? That's anyone that cares for another human being.
Exactly.
Or like I say, people, pets, and plants. But, so if you're a wife, you're a caregiver. If you're a mom, you're a caregiver, and if you're a husband, you're a caregiver. If you're, and if you're a dad, you're a caregiver. So, definitely Karen is speaking to the women out there, but we know that caregivers in general, we're all in need of a safe space. And to be able to know you have that. And I love that safe space is expanding now.
I do too.
It's expanding. And that's why I really wanted to have you here to share that's what you do. You get real, and then people go, oh my God, that's me.
It is. And I want to tell everyone out there that I started out dealing mostly with grief, because that was the newest avenue that I had. But there's been a little bit in there about caregiving, but I'm launching more caregiving after I post. When this goes live, I will do a link. I've already done one link, but I will do a link on this podcast on all of my platforms. And then you will see more targeted caregiving. I think my journals are in Colorado. They didn't make it here, and I've got to go get them that have the nuts and bolts of a lot of that. They, for some reason, they didn't deliver them here, and they got sent back to my mother in Colorado. So one other caveat real quick. I know I'm running out of time. Sure. I could have been that statistic of one of the caregivers that died before their husband. I had a stroke 2 years before my husband died. And had I not gotten there in time, my daughter says, because I can't remember where I was, it would have been much worse. They had 15 minutes before they could not give me the TPA. And she said it would have been horrible. And we went to live with her and her husband and family in Maryland. So I got some support. I am one of the blessed ones that I have family that could help. Not everybody can. And there should be no guilt on the parts of the family members who just can't, either financially or physically in their home, do any more than love and what they possibly can. The guilt has no place.
None.
In any of it. Guilt has no place for the caregiver that yells at whoever they're taking care of. Do we want to do that less? Do we want to see why we're doing it? Well, yeah. Yes. But sometimes our emotional reserves and our spiritual reserves are so low.
That's right. And that doesn't mean that we're bad people. No. we're all imperfect. Nobody's perfect. It's okay. Forgive yourself. Say you're sorry to yourself, wipe yourself off, and get on with it, because your heart is still pure and your heart is still good. You're caring for someone. It's okay if you're going through, you're having human emotions. Dear Lord, is that okay? Yes, it's okay. Yes. Right? And I like what you say. Another thing that I really liked that you said was that you don't see this as this chapter of your life, going through your grief, you don't see this as leftover years. Mm-mm. You see this as a meaningful journey, and to be lived and shared. And I really love that, because your life doesn't begin and end because of caregiving.
No.
So you can continue to inspire and to find meaning in life. And look at Karen. Look at what you're doing.
And I have a term. It's called "Get Your Grit On." I'm a
Get
country
your grit
girl.
on. I love
I'm a
that.
country girl. I can do the country club. I can do the speak with the executives and be real formal and do all that. I can do all that stuff. I do it well. But I am a country girl, and I just talk about boots and dusting yourself off and getting your grit on, because I think in our souls, I just want us to be real. I will give one testimony. No prayer for this. When I had my stroke, I said, "Okay, God, I'll take what you have." And I had an occlusion in my brain, and still managed to function. But last January, I got in with a neurologist who did a baseline to see what was going on with my brain, because I hadn't seen her before. When I saw her again in April, which I knew nothing had probably really changed because we hadn't gotten in touch, I walked in and she said, "Throw away your Plavix. Your brain is completely healed." And I had not been praying for it. And then I said, "God, you don't heal us just because we want to be healed." And I wasn't even asking for it. And I said, "You heal us for a purpose. So what is it?" And he said, "You've been writing all your life. Let's get busy."
Yeah. We all have a mission.
Scared out of my wits to do any of it. But I did it with help from a very dear friend. And
I am so glad you did. I am so glad you did, because I got to meet you and I've been inspired by you. And I know that every caregiver watching this is going to be inspired by you. And yeah, so
let's remember to laugh.
Right? You got to keep laughing, but everything happens for a reason. I believe that, and we just have to move with it. Now you can all get a hold of the Gritty Granny, and you can check out her YouTube station at Gritty Granny. It's on screen, and it's the Gritty is GRITTY, so not TIE. It's TTY Granny. So go to youtube.com and go at Gritty Granny. Or I also have on there, and then there was one, and that's her blog site .com, and then there was one.com. So if you go to her blog site, you'll be able to read all of her different blogs and see all of her different stories. And I'll tell you, each one inspires you in a different way. And I know you're moved to write each one, and definitely moved by that spirit and love that you have. And I'll tell you, just from meeting her in person, you guys, that it translates into her writing. So I'm so honored to have had you on today. Is there anything else you want to share with our caregivers?
I will say that a lot of times it's hard to respond to things, but I would love if you come by you can just put "Give Me a Break," or you can put Caregiver, or put Savy, or whatever you want to put. I would love to know that you were there, because I see a world connecting. She's going to be interwoven in my things, and Bianca's going to be, I asked her permission. She's going to be interwoven in my things. And this is what we do. And then if you have something and you want to share with any of us, let us know so that we can support your efforts as well. Yeah. And I'm just humbled that I have been given the opportunity to do this, and that I got to meet Savy, and that I'm connected with Give Me a Break. I plan to investigate more volunteer type things with it. And I just wish you all hope and inspiration and grit to get through it.
I love that. I love that. Yes. Well, let's get gritty, Granny.
All right.
I just love you, and I look forward to seeing you and connecting with you. And thank you so much for your time today.
Mahalo.
Aloha. All right, you guys, that's it. The Gritty Granny's been here. Now you know Karen Dizxon. Check her out on YouTube at Gritty Granny, or you can go on to her blog site, and it's wonderful. And then there was one.com. Really inspirational and just so true. And you just got through hearing her. She doesn't cut corners either. You know, she's right there. She'll tell it like it is. And that's what we all really just need, right? We need to just allow the world to see what we are going through. So mahalo so much for your heart and for all you do. Okay, so moving on here, our Give Me a Break care receiving workshops are for anyone that need that. There it is. Our care receiving workshops is an 8-part series that covers all aspects of the plan that you need to prepare to be taken care of. And I know nobody ever thought of this, and I'll tell you why. Because when it comes to your care receiving, if you're caring for someone right now, did they plan for every single thing that happened to them? So did they have long-term care insurance? Did you know what their favorite food was, their toothpaste that they used, the shampoo that they used? Did you have a medical directive in place? Did you know that there's an end-of-life option? There's so much. How about financially? Were you prepared for this somehow? When they passed, did you know all their passwords? There's a lot of things that happen. And even when you have to be at your end of life, well, does everyone want to know what song you want at your funeral? Who knows, right? There's so much that needs to be part of a care receiving plan. And we want to change that landscape. Because right now you get thrown into caregiving and then you have to take care of everything after and you don't know what to do. I had to make decisions for my parents that I cannot even tell you. I didn't know. I never had those discussions. I didn't know what to do. So many things. So we have like a 100-point checklist that I go through in an 8-week series, and our care receiving workshops are coming up. They are coming up and they are going to be starting on April 4th. On Saturdays from 2 to 3 p.m. It's an hour long and it's an 8-part series. And it's going to go all the way through till May. And by the time you're done, you will have a folder to get you started of all of the ways to prepare for your care receiving. Now, this is for anyone. This is not just for someone who's ill or is already receiving care. This is for everybody, because at one point, we are all going to be taken care of. And you want that person that's taking care of you not to have to make decisions, right? We're already going to lose control. So how much can we control right now by being prepared? There's a great workshop. We're offering this as a free workshop. You can register right now. And there's my button. And you just go to jb808.org/CRP, Care Receiving Plan. So jb808.org/CRP. Register now. We have limited seating and we're already filling up, but just go and register. Love to see you there. This is for you. This is going to change caregiving for the future. This is going to bring back joy to caregiving and not drudgery. And it's a big thing that we're doing this year. So we're super excited. Speaking of big things that we're doing this year, our Hawaii Caregiver Expo is coming up as well, right? We talked about that earlier. Our Hawaii Caregiver Expo, this is our 5th annual expo, and there's going to be over 50 vetted resources for caregivers. Yeah, that's right. Just when you thought you were alone and no one sees you, bam, we got you. There's also going to be live music. I tapped the key and it went off. That was cool. So there will also be live music by Kupuna Power's Brickwood Galutaria and his friends. I'm really excited about that. We're going to have a sound bowl meditation moment with Calais Piper. And of course, our wonderful giveaways, and we'll be giving away that viral neck massager as well. And so you'll be able to do that. So again, it's going to be March 14th from 10 to 2 at the Windward Mall Center Court. Spread the word, boys. Spread the word. Let everybody know. And you can even go on to our website. I know I have that here somewhere. I can't seem to find it today. That's okay. So just go to gab808.org/expo 2026. And there you'll have it. And if you're not sure, then just go to our website. It's on there. Always is. I double place it everywhere so you don't have a hard time finding it. But you'll find more details all about that. Check it out. Love to see you at the expo. And it's a great opportunity to really connect with your community. And speaking of computers, our tech savvy teens will be there as well. So if you're having issues with your laptop, issues with your phone, issues with your tablet, bring it along. Our tech savvy teens will help you to fix that. And there's no charge for that as well. So just come along and check them out. They're wonderful. And it's just going to be a great expo. It's a great place to find out that there are people that care for caregivers, not just us. There's a lot of them out there. All right. Whew. So like I told you, season 17, packed full of great resources, and we want to keep all this coming. So, make your donation, $25 or more, and that gets you your Mahalo gift and ties you into the magazine. So you will have heard about all of these things. It hits on March 4th. First, the new issue comes out for March, and you'll see the cover right there with the expo. That's what I actually showed you. So there you go. You're not alone. You don't have to isolate. It's okay to get angry. We share your grief. We know how hard that is. And especially when you're caring for someone. It's easy to disappear. It's easy to go from being, one second. It's easy to go from being the wife, the friend, the daughter, to the caregiver and lose your identity. But we see you and we're here for you. And there's a whole community. And each week we're going to bring those resources right to you, like the ones we had today. So mahalo to Bianca for helping us to laugh again. Check her YouTube out at Bianca Spears. And for Karen sharing your heart. Thank you so much. Knowing that you can do that inspires us all to share our stories and to share and know that there's a community we can reach out to. So check out her blog. And then there was one. It seems I've swallowed a dust bunny and it's fighting to come back out. So that's what we do right here on the Caring Caregiver Show. It's all about connecting, all about those resources. Put it on your calendar. Join us every Wednesday at 12 noon right here on the Caring Caregiver Show live. And if you miss us, that's okay. We're streaming on today's 6 platforms simultaneously, and you can see it anytime. Just go back on Facebook, YouTube, or LinkedIn and check us out. And if you miss it again a week later, just go to the podcast. Listen to it on a podcast while you're driving. Listen to it while you're working. Put an earbud in your ear. And we're on Spotify, Apple, Stitcher, Google. Gosh, so many of them. Check us out. Just type in the Caring Caregiver Show or Caring Caregiver Live Show. And we're there. So you can listen to us and you can be connected. The bottom line is stay connected. You're not alone. We have a community. We can all hold hands and support one another. So thanks so much for tuning in today. Hoping that this brought you a little more joy in your caregiving. Look forward to seeing you next week where my guest will be. Here we go. Come here. There we go. Cindy Tyra. I apologize. Cindy Tyra will be my guest. And she's very unique. It's called Hydroloha IV services. So we're really thinking about your health, and I think you're really going to love getting to know her and finding out exactly what she's all about. I'm really excited to have her and share her next week. Just like I said, whatever you do, you guys stay connected, okay? And remember, breathe and laugh. And here's hoping that you're finding more joy in your caregiving every week right here on the Caring Caregiver Show. Thanks for tuning in. Please be kind to yourself and especially to those who are caring. Aloha, everyone.